gosh, do you think she knows this isn't Godot? Yeah, I'm about half aware that this isn't Godot, but these scripts should look relatively familiar to you. In programming, to diff means to find the differences between two scripts, and it's usually done between an older version of what you've done and a newer version of what you've done. You know, in case you've messed it up. In this case, I'm diffing two different scripts, are just regular old main.gd, the thing that makes the thing run, and main with Crossraods GD. That's the one where we've got the split paths. Godot itself, as an engine, cannot put the two scripts side by side so that I can see the differences, and it kind of makes me crazy. And I'll tell you, actually, I went on the GitHub repository for Godot because you can request features, and I was like, oh, I'm going to request this feature because I would really like it. It was requested 5 years ago. When I was looking through the request, there were several other request links that were similar. And so Godot is open source, and I respect that I could program it myself, but I'm just not that good at C, and sometimes you really have to know when you're beaten. Okay, that was a long walk. This is a utility called WinMerge, and I like it because it shows the scripts side by side, which is exactly what I wanted, and it does have the differences highlighted in this kind of pinky orange color. Some of them we kind of knew, like, of course, main with Crossraods isn't going to have all of these declarations because it inherits all of the declarations. Same for Func Ready. This super inherits all of this orange code. But we can't go through and see some of this, like the higher path stuff doesn't need to be in main. That's fine. But there are a couple of changes that we need to make and we need to populate over here in main with Crossraods. The big obvious one to me is that we've now got a forwards and backwards function, and we need to make that happen in main with Crossraods. I actually think I can edit this here and then save it, and Godot will pick it up, but that makes me kind of nervous, so I'm going to go back into Godot. Hang tight. All right, I'm going to click on main with Crossraods, and the we want to go forwards and we want to go backwards is now just going to be await. No, that's going to be await backwards now, isn't it? Await backwards. And again, main with Crossraods inherits main.gd, so it just knows what those functions are. It's good. Perfectly happy little guy. Second change that I picked up with the differ. Last time, we divided this out into its own function, so I'm going to do that again this time just for consistency, and we made it so you could win on an exact roll, which we couldn't do last time until we made this change, and we definitely can't do it in main with Crossraods, so hang tight. There should be this checks and tells us if we're stopped, roll 0. We're going to change it to call where are we and pass in roll. Nope, don't do that. And now this becomes func where are we, which just made it easier to debug, if you'll remember from last episode. Now, see if we can get that change rolling so we can win on an exact roll. This is the Crossroad board. So if you'll remember, you can win up here or you can win down here. You can win on gamespaces.size, or you can win on, we've got a variable for it, higher path win spot. So unfortunately, we really have 3 win conditions. Well, we have 4, but one of them is handled up here. So let's just handle the 3 here. If Bounceback board is true, and it inherited that variable, so no worries. And piece.place is the same as gamespaces.size. So that's 1. Or if Bounceback board is true and By the way, do you see how I'm doing my parentheses? This might work without parentheses, but don't leave them out because it'll make you crazy. It's hard to keep track of without the parentheses. Piece dot place is the same as higher winds path spot outside the parentheses. Or I will make this better in a second. Piece dot place, and this is our old win condition, is greater than or equal to game spaces dot size. You know, I don't think we need this check, but if not, bounce back board and technically if it's not bounce back board, then the first two checks should fail, but anyway, remember, if it's a bounce back board, it has to be exactly equal to game spaces dot size or higher path win spot. I will put this all on the screen in a second. I know this is irritating. So it has to be the double equals here. Here it can be greater than or equal to game spaces dot size. So unfortunately, this one has to be a separate condition. Okay, so if all of this is true, oh, I can't even see my cursor. We have to check for win. And then if we won, go away. Now in the other code, yeah, this goes away because this is the same thing pretty much. Let me, because that is huge. See what I can do to get all of this on the screen. Yeah. Can I do this? Will this give me enough room? Okay. Sorry, we're just gonna have to use a little bit of YouTube magic here, and you're gonna have to pause. If bounce back board and piece dot place double equals game spaces dot size, there's your first condition in the brackets. Or it's a bounce back board and piece dot place double equals is the exact same as the higher path win spot. Or I'm going to scroll over. If you need this, pause. Whoops. Straight up said I was going to scroll over, scroll down. Or it's not a bounce back board. Piece dot place is greater than or equal to game spaces dot size. I would like to get out of distraction mode. Did you know that? This is called distraction mode. One other change we're going to make, and then I'm going to start showing you some stuff. Where in one piece one, right here at the bottom, right above turn label switcher, we actually never check to see if we win, and that's kind of crucial. So if the pink piece won, and if the blue piece won, then win. Now let's at least prove that we can win on an exact roll. On this board, that's going to be 9. I'm going to turn bounce back board on. And before I do anything, I'm going to go here into 2D mode. Check and make sure that all of these spots are what you think they should be. That one is Crossroad. That one should be regular. That one should be regular. Yeah, cool. Okay. When I was debugging this, I actually had one of these set to backwards, and it was making me insane because I couldn't figure out why the piece wasn't going backwards. You know, because it doesn't have an arrow on it. But it looks like everybody's set up correctly. I'm going to click the clapboard and run the scene, and roll equals 9, so I should be able to send one guy up and one guy down and win even though it's a bounce back board. We're winning on an exact roll. And we can both win. We can both win. But right now we're not handling the bounce back. If I get, say, roll a 10. I won't make you set through it, but the piece just sits at the end. It doesn't bounce back, as it were. So let's look. The way this script works is if they both get to the end, well, If just one gets to the end, look at my comment, I told you. If just one of them is at the end, this function runs. So it's kind of easiest to attack it here in this one spot. So before we start winning, or setting places or anything, if it's a bounce back board, and roll doesn't equal 0, because if it does equal 0, we want to win, right? If the piece, we have a tool up here to tell us whether or not we're on the higher path. Dot place equals game spaces. So if we're on the little winner spot, run bounce back. Okay, now it's going to give, no? Yeah, that's the error message I thought it should give. It doesn't know what roll is, so we're going to have to pass one piece, or roll into one piece one. It's going to fuss at us to tell us where we should do that. So just find the red lines and type roll. Once it stops fussing, we're all good. Yay! Okay. So if you've done that, if you've bounced back, get out. Else, if you're on that bottom path, I actually, when I debug this, I actually think we have higher place and lower place flipped. And could I control F and change higher to lower? Yep. Am I going to? No. I'm kind of in the point where, like, well, the code works. I don't want to touch it. Okay, so if we're in the higher path win spot, still going to bounce back. And we need to await on that bounce back. If we have done all of that, go away. Otherwise, let me get these tabs out. If roll equals 0 or it's not a bounce back board, if we not bouncing, else do all this. You know, sitting here looking at it, not totally sure it matters too much, but I think I want the win check above us setting dice dot can click to true. That's probably better. Okay. So this will bounce back. Let me show you. So we have to overwrite the old bounce back. It works really strangely with this. Let's go get the old bounce back. Let's go to main.gd. Backwards, forwards, bounce back, boom. Copy it. Let's go to main, let's Crossraods, and we'll just copy paste it. That overwrites it just fine. So I'm going to show you the solution, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know why it works. Because your girl spent 4 solid days trying to debug this to figure out why it works, and I can't. And I showed it to another programmer, and they couldn't figure out why this works. But it works, so we're going to be fine with it. Sometimes it's not that I'm smarter than you, it's that I have a copy of OBS and Kdenlive. And that means that I can make videos. And that doesn't mean that I'm more brilliant of a programmer. I probably am not. Usually it's not that people are better at something than you, it's that they've broken more stuff. And I don't even know if I've broken more stuff than you. Because I don't really know who you are. This is YouTube. Okay, so if you're on the higher space, we have to add roll to 1, or 1 to roll. Yeah, that's right. If you're on the bottom, we have to subtract roll to 1. Now, why did I do this? Because if we don't define go back here, it tells us that go back is out of scope. So I just, whoops, hello. Just throw it a bone. It can equal whatever. 1 is easy, so fine. So now, roll is currently set to 10. Everybody should land on the same spot, right? Again, why does that work? I'm not totally, if you know, congratulations on being better at math than me and everybody I asked. Leave a comment because I love to learn. Actually, let me show you something. Hold on. This is from my real notes that I use when I make these tutorials, and this is my debugging method. I actually used the Godot debugger, but it was a pain in the butt and it wasn't showing me what I wanted. That would be a whole separate episode, how to use that debugger. This is what I had to do, all of these print statements, to tell me exactly what it was setting everything to every line. I'm showing you this because I'm hoping it helps you. Maybe someday you're going to be stuck in the same place I am and you're going to go, oh, wait a minute. This is one method of solving the problem. All right, enough detours. Let's go back to Godot. Okay. You kind of don't have to do this. We talked last time about maybe having your features far enough from each other to where you weren't constantly bouncing back into a forward, and then the forward bounces you to a question, and the question, because that is annoying. If you do bounce your piece into the crossroads, you would hope that it goes to the end. And one of these paths, I actually forget which one. I believe it's the upper path. That works completely fine. This one, it's going to go, meh, do it, whoop, what, whoop. And then it's going to continue. You could just leave your ends so far from your crossroad that it's not an issue. And that would be a completely valid design choice. We can program for that. In this while loop, after a wait, if the piece is on the higher path, oh, hello. If the piece is on the higher path, and piece.place equals higher path. And then put the piece on the lower path. And if you'll remember all the way back in the Crossroads episode, we set these variables so you weren't constantly having to type out piece.place equals 5. No, and you can change these at will now. Or for any board that you make now, because you have them not hard-coded. Now, this is a bit of funky math, but it's true. Once you're at that crossroad, you have to decrease go back, because pretend go back is 11 and you're not here, or you're here. It can't get back to 11, it's going to circle through. So we have to change go back. Go back equals go back minus the lower path. Why are you mad? Oh, it is not my day for double equals, I guess. Got it? Let's set roll to 16. That feels like a good number. And then let's run it. I clicked the clapboard. Got it. It looks good. It actually looks good. Good for us. All right. That is all I have for you. Take it easy. I will see you next time. Hey, real quick before you scoot, I am on buymeacoffee.com. It's kind of like Ko-Fi and Patreon together. If you found this video helpful or useful, I would appreciate you coming over here and checking this out. If you are willing or able, you can donate on this page.